There we go.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome, well, to the roast, and it's morning somewhere. We're doing a special Tuesday edition since I kind of lied to you and said we'd have Rob on yesterday, and I don't want to disappoint you, so we're having Rob on today.
Yeah, that was thanks to me and my flakiness, but now here I am, and I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, there must be.
Thanks for showing the patience and graciousness to have me back on in the first place.
Oh, come on, Rob. Now, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up over that.
Hey,
It's
listen, I noticed that the intro there it's been spiffed up a little bit. It now has your avatar and Sim.
yeah. Sim did that.
That's a new addition. It looks great.
Yeah, it's quite funny. We need to get like a female regular on the show so we can put her avatar over the woman.
Yeah,
Uh, but there must be like a curse, because every time we get you to have you on, it seems like there's
there's
some
something
issues.
happening, and it's weird because it's like exclusively with your show. These things start happening. Like last time it was like a Muay Thai lesson that I had, and we had to cut it short a little bit.
It's all good though. That's pretty cool though that you do Muay Thai. I'd
Yeah,
like to learn some sort of martial art. That'd be cool.
yeah. I mean, I'm not like Van Damme or anything, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better slowly but surely.
I'd like to learn it. Help get me in shape and everything. I'm so.
No, it's good. It's good for the mind. Anything to do with physical exercise, and sometimes I do a little bit of tennis as well, just to keep. And I find that exercise keeps me sharper mentally.
Oh, that could be a good. That could be good then. And nowadays you don't even need like to go to like a dojo or anything. You could probably learn it through the internet. I figure now.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff you can do. I'm fortunate that I have a very close friend of mine from childhood who used to be uh, a champion of Portugal, which is where I'm from, of Muay Thai and kickboxing and all this, and he's the one that's giving
Oh,
me the lessons at a very friendly rate. So
oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
how can I pass that up, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a great opportunity. Yeah, I've always seen Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler. He does his DDP yoga, and it helps these people who are really overweight lose a lot of weight and stuff like that. And I've always thought, and you can do it through the internet, at your home and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe I should do that because like he's up there in age and he's in great shape and stuff. But I never have. One
Yeah,
of
I
these
mean,
days.
there's I find that there's a big genetic role in how in shape you can be at a certain age, right?
Hmm.
But then also it's a matter of putting in the work. Uh,
Yeah.
but I do have friends like this guy that's actually teaching me Muay Thai. He eats unhealthily and by the truckload, and he's incredibly fit. It's just impossible for him to gain weight. It's crazy.
If only everybody had that problem.
And he's like 40, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
Usually once you turn 30, it's like there's a dip and it gets tougher and tougher
yeah. Yeah.
because your metabolism just takes a big hit.
Yeah. I've hit 33 now. I'm
Mm.
I'm 33 and yeah, it started hitting. Like I still eat everything. Like I'm still a glutton, but like the belly's hitting. I could see it starting to form and I'm like I gotta nip this in the bud. I gotta start working out. Come on,
All
Chris.
right. All of a sudden, you start reaping the dividends, right?
Yeah.
And it's like me, man. When I was in my 20s, I could eat whatever, and I was as thin as you can imagine. But then all of a sudden something shifted, and now my whole body's changed, and it's not going back.
Hmm.
Which I'm glad because I was too skinny, and now I actually look like a man before. I was a little bit. I looked like a runway model or something, but like a female runway model. But whatever. Yeah. Oh, we digress, right? Are we here to talk about comics or?
That's right. That's right. Let's see. But first, right, real quick, let me say hello to everybody in the chat that's decided to show up. I'm hoping, even though we're late, it's later in the time period, we still get a lot of our folks in. We got Soul with us. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad we're not too late for Soul.
Cool dude.
We got in Mr. Feed. He said, "Let's go." Then Soul said, "Good morning, good morning." Chris left all day through and said it's in a coma too. Oh, well, Sim probably he might be. I've tried messaging him and I haven't heard from him, so hopefully he pops in like he did yesterday. We got Woodrow. I was just speaking to Woodrow on Twitter. We was talking about Duke Nukem.
Oh, nice! That's one of my favorite games of all time. The 3D one, the Duke Nukem 3D.
I love Duke.
Duke Nukem Forever was garbage fire, but Duke Nukem 3D is like one of the best of all time. I remember there was a big like debate back in the day whether you were like Team Quake or Team Duke Nukem, and I was fully Duke Nukem.
Yeah, I was full Duke. I liked the humor in Duke Nukem Forever. Like I felt like Duke was Duke, but the game was pretty bad in terms of like mechanics and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't on par with what Quake was doing because that was like actual like fully 3D, and Duke Nukem, from what I understand, was like an ersatz version of like a 3D engine. But I thought it was more fun to play, to be honest with you, because it had stuff like, I remember in multiplayer you could like these secrets where you could hide like invisible walls and just like hit people with bazookas and stuff, and they didn't know where it was coming from. It was just, it had like fun little stuff like that. Also, the pipe bomb. I don't know if you remember that. That was hilarious. You could just drop them in like in unsuspecting places, and people would just blow up, and it was just fun.
Soul says, "Welcome to the roast where we return to Cthulhu High with our favorite clothing rack inhabitant. Limbs will rot, brains be eaten, and vampires be assholes." Good
I love that. Chat. I'm stealing that for my next Twitter post. This guy knows how to promote better than I do.
Soul is very witty.
Yeah.
He's quite a witty individual. We got Lola with us. Hello, Lola, with the wonderful avatar. Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is quite the artist. Have you seen his post, Rob?
No, I haven't.
He's been showing up. He did actually a piece for my character on what I was telling you there, the Pathfinder with Irene and them.
Yeah, I'm sure he's talented, but I have to admit I was even more intrigued by Lola's avatar.
well, we all are. Let's see. What's Soul saying? Lola is a regular lady. So the avatar on the lady could be a butt. Let's see. All right. I'll check the rest here in a second. First, before we go any further, I want to bring up the Indiegogo for Tales from the Classroom, the Cthulhu Files.
Amazing.
Real quick here. So you've already met your goal.
Well, my goal is just, I wanted to like blow through my goal on the first day, and that I did, but it was like I lowballed it so much, it was impossible for me not to, practically. But it's doing okay. We sort of hit a wall recently, but also my promotional game is taking a hit. I have to get back on it and see if I get some more eyeballs and some more traction on the campaign. The idea is to do a little bit better than the first one. Hopefully, like a couple thousand would be great to do. To go over the initial campaign.
Oh yeah. But if not, see growth.
Yeah, you want to see growth, but if not, then I'll be happy with just 1,000 or whatever. I just want people to like read this book and continue to get the positive buzz that I got with the first one, and slowly I'll build my audience and eventually leave EVS eating my dust. I'm
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah. They'll be like, Cyber, what? I'm here for the zombie. All right, I'm going to play the trailer here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you do that video?
No, I wish I had that much talent, but now this wonderful gentleman named Bronson Gorilla, who did a number of other trailers for crowdfunded books, CG books, namely Six Gun Gorilla. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Bryan's.
Yeah, Brian Kriskow was a great guy. He did that, and he did some other ones, and he's done this one. And I thought
that was quite fancy.
Yeah. You know what he did? He actually rendered the high school, Cthulhu High. He did like a 3D model, and it looks amazing. It looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, that was really cool. I just seen what was it? Peter Gilmore, his campaign, Jack the Ripper. There, I just seen his video yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They played it, and it was pretty good too.
Yeah, that campaign looks great. I backed it as well.
Awesome.
We were just discussing how many books we've backed, right?
Yeah.
That we wish we could get around to reading, but they just keep piling up like nice hefty pile you have back there. But but some of the ones I've read, I've been pleasantly surprised with. Other ones not so much, but we're not going to mention those.
Yeah.
But I was just saying to you off air that Mary Boys, for instance, was a really nice surprise.
It's one of my favorites.
And I like Monster MD as well. And I like Monster MD so much, in fact, that I co-opted the art team from Monster MD. So now they're like my main team, and henceforth we're going to be collaborating very heavily. They do. Actually, shall we speak about this, the Cthulhu Files specifically for a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know if your viewers know, but this isn't a direct sequel to the original. It's designed to be read in conjunction with Tales from the Classroom 2, or in preparation for, whichever one you wish. And it's one of those anthology type books where we do a number of different one-shots, basically, self-contained stories based on characters in the Tales from the Classroom universe. And we try to get different artists for each of the stories. And in one case, we even got a different writer, Von Klaus, also of Monster MD fame, right? The creator of Monster MD. And he wrote a story called The Tale of Cleotep, which is centered around Cletus, who's this mummy school bus driver that sort of like a redneck type, but that students have a notion that he hides some kind of epic past that he won't reveal. And this story delves into what that past is and how he came to and slum it up as a simple school bus driver. Nothing against school bus drivers, but this guy used to be at the top of the heap, and now he's he's just a school bus driver. So
Yeah, he has fallen.
he has fallen from grace. So, but that story, he managed to weave in 12 pages a super epic rise and fall tale, full of betrayal and I don't want to get too much into it, but suffice to say that it's a roller coaster ride that I think readers are really going to enjoy. And it features Monica McCagney's art, Tanya Wicker's colors, which are insane, and yeah, and of course Eric Weathers' lettering, because Eric Weathers letters everything. As well he should, because he's so good, right?
Yeah. And I remember you had Mr. Krotz.
Yeah, Krotz is doing the art for one story that's centered around Joshua the Golem, who did a cameo in the first book. And these people who read it, he's sort of like a fan favorite. And I thought, why not do a little adventure based on this character? And he actually has the meatiest of all the stories. It clocked in at over 20 pages. And it's a really cool, like off-the-wall adventure that starts with him going on a field trip with the rest of his class to a synagogue. And he ends up finding a secret passage and embarks on a quest to find this thing called the cosmic dreidel. And it's just it's a story full of twists and turns and lots of surprises that I really don't want to get into. But suffice it to say again that it's that it's good. It's an excellent value, I think, especially because Matt, who's a great artist, even though he's a totally different. He has a totally different style than Monica McCagney, who's much more slick and I would say mainstream. Mm-hmm. He's much more indie, Matt is, and has a looser sort of I don't know, just a way of drawing. But it actually fits this story in particular quite well. For reasons that I don't want to get into because that would involve spoilers.
Oh yeah, I loved Kiri. It's up there. It's up there with like the Merry Boys and one of my top favorites that I've gotten from crowdfunding. So I am excited for that.
1 and 2, both volumes 1 and 2 are both quite good.
Yeah, I wish I would have backed in the first campaign. I missed out on the first Tales from the Classroom, so I will be rectifying that.
Yeah, no, I'll rectify that for you. No worries. So this is Matt's. These are Matt's pages. As you can see, his style is total. But I really like seeing different artists with dramatically different approaches tackle the Tales from the Classroom characters. It's always fascinating to see how they envision certain characters and how they differ from one another. Always keeping within the same spirit, but always with a different approach.
And so, like these stories, you don't have to read them, right, to be able to get understand the second one and everything.
You don't have to read the first book or the second book to enjoy these stories. They're totally self-contained.
Okay.
But if you do, then it enhances the experience. I would say.
It just adds to it.
It adds to it, and this story in particular takes place concurrently with Tales from the Classroom 2. And you'll see like cross references between whenever that book comes out. You'll see there's cross references with this story, but tiny things. Again, you don't need to be aware of that. It's just like a little extra for readers who are attentive to to reward those extra attentive readers.
I will say, everything's obviously based on like spooky, the horror stuff, but it's still very colorful. Like a lot of people have a tendency of just making everything like black,
Mhm.
and gray. Yours is still very
Super,
vibrant.
super grim, but this one actually, before you get to you finish that thought, this story is a little bit grimmer because it takes place in Zombieville,
Mm-hmm.
which is an all zombie
Too many.
town. Yeah, exactly. Population too many. And I thought I approached this guy named Maxi Dallo, who's an Argentinian artist whose style I really loved, and I first ran into his work in the Kill Journal. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I backed it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a little short story written by Brian Kriskow again in that book. And I
Mhm.
thought, wow, this guy's style is perfect for this story because I need somebody with like a more hard-edged, like rough and tumble sort of line work, and and it's perfect for this. And I think he did a fantastic job. And also the coloring is really good in here. It's done by this guy named Rolo Mayada, who's actually a really good artist in his own right, but in this case, he's just doing the colors, and I think he did great.
Yeah, I liked where is it? Is it this one page where where he's like waiting and waiting and waiting? Yeah.
Yeah, he's waiting.
To get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like labeled like, and then of course the mail is like super old.
No, that's a little
Yeah, like it's like a little late getting there, and he's like, "Oh, it's hot."
all right, yeah. But it's a nod to like when the first Tales from the Classroom was originally written. That I like the first Tales from the Classroom is based on a screenplay that I'd written, right? And I wrote that screenplay in 2009. That's
Oh,
when I
okay.
registered it. So that's just a little nod to that readers won't know, but I'll know. So I'll put it there.
Yeah, a little Easter egg.
For my own amusement, an Easter egg for me.
Ah. Yeah,
This is the story. Basically, if you missed out on the first Tales from the Classroom, it's about this zombie named Rob Muerto, whose name I co-opted as my own alias, and it's it tells the story of like how he used to be the coolest kid in his old high school, which was an all zombie high school named Romero High. And eventually his family, his dad gets a promotion and they have to transfer. He has to transfer to a new high school. He goes to the big city and he goes to Cthulhu High, which is this super progressive multi-species high school where all manner of monsters are there, like vampires and wolfmen and everything you can imagine. And he gets a rude awakening upon finding out that not only is he no longer top of the heap, but the zombie species in general are regarded as like bottom rung. So they're all treated like if you're a zombie, you're barely worth acknowledging. And it's about him struggling with that, and also landing on the radar this alpha vampire named Drake, who happens to have a particular distaste for zombies, and he zeroes in on Rob in particular and decides to make his existence as miserable as possible. And this story delves into how Rob came to be the most popular kid in Romero prior to transferring to Cthulhu, and how his life was totally different in this time period.
Yeah, being comic book nerds, I think a lot of us could kind of relate to the zombie situation there, and getting picked on by the jocks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
How many?
Listen, if I was going to make an underdog story, right, about monsters in high school, then I thought, why not make my main character a zombie, right? It's only fair.
It fits. Yeah, it's pretty perfect there. How many tales are in this
So
one?
it's 3 in total. and it's 50 plus pages. I think we're gonna. It's about. I think it's like 56 pages in total,
Okay.
and nothing with three markedly different art styles, all top artists in my estimation, some of the most talented in crowdfunding, and excellent writing, if I do say so myself. Well, I can only speak for Ron. I think he did a fantastic job. You guys can decide if you like my stories or not.
The art is great in all these preview pages. Matt's doing a great. Yeah, these are really great here, and Matt did a great job. I this page here with the really nice little girl, and then he cracks. I'm like,
Yeah,
I feel frustration.
yeah. People get
It's like that poor
really
little girl.
like irritated with that. They go, man, I hope that little shit got his.
Yeah.
You'll
Like
have
that poor little girl. Damn him.
yeah. So there's that. Oh, and there's two variant covers, right? That you can get. You can get one or the other, or you can get both. I recommend both because these aren't just variant covers per se. They're effectively different editions of the book because they're going to be printed in very different styles, different print jobs totally.
Oh, okay.
Because and also with unique artwork like inside cover art in each of the editions. So they are different editions of the book. It's the same. Listen, it's the same story, but they'll feel completely different. The books will, and they'll have like little nuggets that peppered inside that will make the book be effectively different.
Oh wow, yeah. So you're really changing. It's not just a different little cover there. You're doing.
No, it's not, and you know why? Because as far as the printer is concerned, if you do a variant cover, they treat it as a like in terms of the pricing, it's they treat it as a different edition of the book. So I felt, hey, if they're doing that, might as well really make it different, right?
Yeah, might as well go all out then.
Yeah.
If you're already having to pay for it and everything.
So with the this one, which is this first cover that you see, if you scroll,
Okay.
that one,
Yeah, that one.
which is based on the Tale of Cleotap. Monica did this one, and we're going to be doing like a soft touch lamination on the cover. We're getting a little technical, but the idea is that you touch it and you feel like it's like got an old feel to it, and then inside it's going to be sort of like brittle pages, like to give that papyrus-like effect. The idea is to keep in tune with the ancient Egyptian feel, and we'll try to do that. Whereas the other edition of the book, it's going to be super glossy. The cover will with thicker page width and weight. I mean, and hopefully we can get the spot gloss on both editions, depending on how much money we raise. But that's the first stretch goal. Is if we go over 4K, then I'm adding in the spot gloss in the title.
Oh yeah,
So it makes all the difference.
There then.
Yeah, it makes all the difference to me, to be honest with you. It goes from being just a simple comic book to something that feels premium, you know?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to check the chat again because I am really bad at today. I haven't paid no attention with it. David said, 33 only man, Chris Young. Hey, come on. So said, compared to us veterans, he's sort of a spring chicken. No, come on. I'm not that young yet. I'm just. Oh, we had COVID Kev here. Hello, sir. He says,
COVID Kev, I like that.
Butcher said Duke 3D was perfection. Soul was all about Unreal Tournament.
Oh man, Unreal Tournament, I loved it as well. We're talking about some of the greatest FPSs of all time. So I was around, like, my youth was spent playing the greatest FPSs to my mind of all time, like Rise of the Triad, uh, Duke Nukem 3D, Unreal Tournament, Dark Forces, the first and the second one, Jedi Knight, which is amazing, and
What was that one called? Did you ever play what was it, Redneck Rampage or something like that?
Thief, Redneck Rampage,
Blood.
Blood for sure, yeah. All that Heretic, Hexen.
Yeah, Hexen and Heretic. Yeah.
So those are the best, and just since then it's been downhill as far as I
Yeah, just been downhill from there.
the graphics have gotten way better, but it's they just don't have the same character, and
Yeah.
yeah, there's something missing,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like the flavor and stuff like that, the little touches have been kind of gone. It's gotten just kind of corporate. So like, yeah, it's all flashy with the graphics, but everything else is just kind of meh. It's gotten bland.
Yeah, a little soulless, I would say.
Yeah. Taylor says, "What's this? A Tuesday stream?" Yeah, I know. You should be happy. You're getting more. You're getting more of us. Yeah, I know. Not all of us are super young like you, John Cage. Let's see.
Y'all are old. Man,
Oh, what's this?
I'm knocking on the edge of 40.
I just sent you a photo from 2002 I found for today's show. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let me bring that up. Let me see what you've got for us. Okay. I gotta share that one. That one's pretty good. So let me see here. Stop sharing that. I'll share.
Just, like the
Robin Soul.
I love it.
That's pretty good, Saul.
He's a dead ringer, man. That's crazy.
Okay. All right.
So, can I just to talk about this cover a little bit more?
Yeah.
By this guy named Ozgur Yildirim, which is an exotic sounding name because he's an exotic fellow from. He hails from the land of Turkey, which is an amazing country. If you've ever been, I highly recommend it. And what? And he's actually like a mainstream guy. He's done work for Marvel and he's done work for Image.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was doing cover art for Kick-Ass, and did some cover art for what was the other one? Loki. There's like a series of like a limited series of Loki, and he did all the different cover art. So that was great that we could get him, and we're very happy about that. And I suggest you get this one as well. And the way that you do get it is by getting the double whammy perk, which is
let me scroll up here. I think it's the featured one, ain't it? Yeah, there it is.
Which is, I think, good value, 36. But then if you live outside of the US, right, which is my case, if you live outside of the US, then you really get a kick in the nuts with the shipping rates.
Yeah.
Shipping fees. So sometimes, in the case of Australia, for instance, it's like $25 on top of that. So if it's too much, even though that's for me that's quite pricey, even if this is a super high quality book, in my opinion, it's still a floppy, and to pay like $50 for a floppy, no matter how good the book is a little bit of an ask.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford that, I highly suggest you get the digital edition, which is designed to be read on the go on a tablet or whatever. But the premiere experience is on a desktop using this program named Adobe Acrobat Reader, which allows you to access these semi-interactive features that we're going to pepper into the book that will make it more interesting. This was the case with the first book, and we're gonna continue that trend with the second one and maybe even improve on it by adding some sound effects or what have you. We'll see what we can do. we're working on it now.
Okay, and the digital deluxe, that's got all of the. Does that have all the Tales from the Classroom?
Digital Deluxe has both Tales from the Classroom. So if you missed out on the first one, and since the physical edition of the book is no longer available officially, then you should get this one.
Okay.
You don't need it. Again, I stress that you don't need it to enjoy these stories.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll, if you do read the first one, it might enhance your reading experience.
Yeah, and I mean, who doesn't want to learn more about the universe, right?
Right. Yeah.
But also, I mean, if you are international and that pays kind of hard on you, you could get a friend, and kind of go half and half on it and get the double whammy.
That's a good idea. I like that.
That would cut down on the expenses a little for you.
Yeah.
Like I know Soul. He's got a friend called named Dunkel Ziffer, and so they could kind of go half and half on it. Let me see. Woodger said Vaughn is on a story in here. Yes. David Feed said, I thought that art seemed familiar.
Yeah.
Why is Sim still asleep? I don't know. He doesn't love me anymore. I don't know.
Is that a show? Did I just hear a train?
Yeah, I live right by the tracks.
Oh, that's cool, man. I mean, it's cool. If you want to get to sleep, it's not so cool.
You get used to it. You do get used to it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times you don't even notice it.
It's like you're living in a Western the whole time,
That's right. Rob's putting most trailers to shame.
I like that.
David Feed says. We had Mike Jimmy popping in. Say hi.
Hey, Mike.
Soul says this deserves 10 times the backers and more.
Wow. I agree.
But Winter said he needs to back this when he gets a chance. He loves it.
Oh, nice.
So that's good. You'll have a future backer there.
That's good. Yeah, the issue that I'm having, what I'm struggling with is getting eyeballs and getting out there and doing streams like this and finding ways to promote, which is it's a big hurdle for me because I'm not the most I don't feel very comfortable doing these things in the first place,
Yeah.
There's people that are naturals and they can sell you like a vacuum cleaner via stream, even though you're not remotely interested in it.
Yeah.
And there's others that don't do so well. I don't do so well, but I think that the product that I have is speaks for itself. The people that have backed it have overwhelmingly enjoyed it, and hopefully we can continue that trend. And I think that it's all about generating word of mouth and positive word of mouth, and hopefully just accruing and building slowly to something that becomes a veritable success.
Yeah, you want to have a little bit of growth, everything, and eventually you'll be up there in the top tier.
Let's hope, man. You're here.
Yeah, it's that's kind of one of the reasons why, like you said there, like marketing is the most kind of like one of the, if not the most important thing, because even if you have a great book, if nobody knows about it, it won't go nowhere. And that's kind of one of the reasons I started this, was because I know a lot of guys like Aaron and so they don't really like being on those streams, and they don't like the streams where it's like shill.
No, but it's not even the streams. I like I like chatting with people like we're doing now, but it's like when I have to stop and enter the business mode where like, well, folks, you got to get this one over here,
Yeah.
For $39.99 you can, I can't do that. Maybe I should actually adopt that voice and
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's the thing I feel uncomfortable with. But
yeah, well,
but I'm also exploring like different marketing strategies and we'll see.
Yeah, and that's kind of why one of the reasons why I do this show the way it is. I try to keep it as laid back as possible and not be so shill, to help people kind of, those people who aren't real big on that sort of thing, they can kind of just
Yeah,
Relax.
yeah.
Yeah. And plus, I don't think some I think there is a section of audience that don't like constant where it's constant promote. They want to they want to get to know the creator. They want to joke around with them.
Yeah.
You know that sort of thing. Um,
So, yeah.
it's just
I certainly don't. I don't even like Twitter accounts that are just exclusively focused on shilling for its own product.
hmm
Um, I like to mix it up a little bit with mine, but I also sometimes I fall into the trap of like getting too opinionated about things. I'll run into something that really infuriates me on Twitter, and I'll comment on it and like RT like political stuff, and I'm like,
yeah.
I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's where you kind of got to work the balance because you don't want to get too drama and turn off some people or something like that. But at the same time, you kind of gotta be to your you gotta be yourself
Hmm.
too.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a
oh,
fine line. Man. It's a fine line.
so said couldn't decide myself, so backed both covers. Sorry for several ghost backers, but I got a contribution error until I used VPN and then it worked.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, he ran I guess he ran into the same problem I ran in back when I was trying to back Sims Blood Hunt, where I was getting constantly like it would tell me I backed, but then I'd go into my contributions and there'd be nothing there, and I had no backing.
That's strange.
And yeah, it went on for ages. I guess because Sim was Canada, I was US or something, and my bank wasn't allowing it, I guess.
But the thing is, I've had plenty of opportunities to engage in pretty substantial drama,
Mhm.
and I've refused to do so, because it's just not my thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's good.
but it does. But it does. I'll have to say something, man. It does. It made me think. I have to think twice about it because it does seem to generate a lot of attention and to get you out there in the
That's true. I mean,
spotlight. But that's not.
it does draw a lot of positive and negative attention to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
And
not
then
wrong there.
it's become a name and the sort of crazy wheelhouse of CG. And but that's not how I want to build my brand.
Yeah. I think the problem I think with the drama stuff is once you start down that path, you have to devote yourself to it.
Yeah.
You have to be all about the drama because if not, then it dries up and people move on. And then it quits being about the book and it's just about your drama. They're only backing you because of the drama.
But
And it's just,
and people are so tribal, and I have the sense there's no more tribalistic group of people than comic book fans.
yeah, yeah.
That's why they get into like fights in comic book stores traditionally about like whose ass could somebody like Wolverine could kick Juggernaut's ass if because it's like that kind of stuff. You pick
Yeah.
teams all the time and you rep for certain characters and certain creators and all that. So there's that impulse is very much alive, even in the
Mhm.
crowdfunded space. And a lot of creators have tapped into that and exploited that to the max,
Yeah.
and have done quite well.
I
So it is tempting to embark on that on that approach as well, but so far I've avoided it.
Yeah, I think you have to be a certain kind of person to do it too.
I,
Like me, if I tried to do something like that, I would become so horribly stressed and frustrated and miserable with my life. I
yeah,
wouldn't be able to keep it going.
yeah, yeah.
I would get burned out on it.
No, I mean it's not my thing either, Ben. So I'm glad that I
Uh,
have avoided that.
oh, we got Bristolia Dave with us. It's all right, me babbers. All right, welcome, sir, welcome. Let's see. Everybody should check out. I think talking to pictures is happening tonight, so everybody should check that out when they go live. It's Mr. Dave here, Mr. Feed, and Marinus.
Is
They're
it
talking.
is it a movie based podcast?
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, right. I
Yeah,
was
I
watching.
always try
I
to
was,
tune
wa-
in.
I was watching a double feature. yesterday called. It featured The Whip and the Body. I don't know if you've seen that before. It's like a horror movie from the '60s, but like an Italian horror movie.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one.
With what is the name of the guy? Like the old school dude that was that played Lord, the bad guy in Lord of the Rings with the beard.
Oh my God.
Christopher Lee. Christopher
Yeah.
Lee.
Um,
All right, so Christopher Lee is in it, but like a young Christopher Lee,
yeah, he was so great.
and he was fantastic. He's fantastic in the movie. And I've just been delving into these really obscure, mostly horror movies,
Mhm.
and I've been getting a really big kick out of it. My objective is to watch one movie a day, and brush up on all these things that I've missed out on that everybody's been talking about. Me being a movie fan,
Mhm.
these Italian movies and French movies, the new wave stuff that Fellini and all this more highbrow type of cinema that never appealed to me. But now, in my old pipe smoking years, all of a sudden you see them with different eyes. My thing used to be just watching Bruce Willis like blow shit up, and that was that.
Oh, Dave says his show is actually in 1 hour on his channel. Okay. Yeah, I loved like Christopher Lee and Vincent Price. I used to love watching Vincent Price when I was young.
Yeah. I watched for the first time. One of the things I watched for the first time was the classic Universal monster flicks,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I thought Frankenstein was by far the best one out of those, that first batch of movies that I watched. Also, The Invisible Man was really good. Claude Rains puts in the best performance out of all of them.
Have you seen that newer one for The Invisible Man, where they were trying to like kind of revamp the Universal Studios stuff?
I watched the Kevin Bacon one with Elizabeth Shue, which was really was quite nice.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
There
was actually a newer one.
And then there's a newer one. I missed out on that.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I've watched a like YouTube thing on it where they talk about it and everything, go over it.
Uh-huh.
It seemed okay. They were talking highly of it.
Oh, really?
Like I haven't really watched it yet.
Because the other attempts to reinvigorate the Universal monster universe were immense failures. Like
the one with, what was it, Tom Cruise?
Yeah, the Mummy one, that was a spectacular dud.
Yeah, they were saying it was bad.
And what was the other one? There was another attempt.
Well, was it the Benicio del Toro Wolfman? Is that
was that part of it?
I don't know.
And did you watch that or no?
Because I think it started with The Mummy with Tom Cruise. I know the Invisible Man one was supposed to be a part of it, but they
no, it didn't. Sorry, it didn't start with The Mummy. It started with this thing called Dracula 2000, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that part of it?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that one.
There's like references to that movie in The Mummy, from what I understand.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Wow. That's been a while.
No, because that one was like a total. That was also like a huge flop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then if you can't get it right with Tom Cruise, who's like potentially the biggest movie star on the planet, certainly the biggest movie star of our generation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you've got such star power there. How do you mess that up?
Exactly. If you can't sell your movie, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, you've messed something up really bad.
But the thing is, they don't understand that like what they should embrace is like the spooky. What people are drawn to is the spooky element of these Universal monsters. It's not the high octane action. They're not for the next Mission Impossible. They want to see like the creepy element. Yeah,
it looks like they were trying to mimic like the superhero, cinematic stuff.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, it's okay to have an interconnected universe, but it still has to be, horror based.
Right. Yeah.
You can't just change these guys.
Right.
But the Invisible Man one seemed to be all actually about that more horror based stuff. Like it's got a woman and she's basically trying to like leave this guy and he's kind of abusive and everything and he's the Invisible Man, so he ends up like going after her and stuff. So it takes more of a tech thing. He's like wearing like a suit.
He's like a stalker, right?
Yeah, like he's kind of losing his basically losing it.
Well, just like in the first one, the old school one. But by the time like the first one starts, the guy's already totally lost it. So maybe this one's a little different. I think even the Kevin Bacon one, you saw him like lose his mind progressively and becoming more and more twisted.
Yeah, this one
which makes sense, man. If you were invisible and could get away with everything, who knows what kind of stuff you'd be up to, for doing.
Yeah, I mean, like you put that kind of power into someone's hands.
Right.
But yeah, in this one, he's like an abuser. And he's like abusive to her and everything, and then he just kind of gets worse after the whole invisible thing, if I remember right. I don't know. They were saying it was all right.
Yeah, I'll check it out, man. I'm curious. But first, let me get through some of these classics. And,
yeah, get through the ones we know are good.
Exactly.
Let's see. David Feet said, "No way Tom Cruise was going to die equals no stakes, no tensions." Huh. Yeah, I don't think I really watched. Did I watch Mummy? No, because I think when it hit, everybody was like, "Yeah, it sucks, it's terrible." So I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to watch it then."
Yeah, it's funny how that plays such a role in what because the thing is, there's so much content out there. There's so much stuff for like the sheer amount of things you could pick from to watch. It's so big that like, why would I waste my time in something that people are crapping on? Maybe unfairly, but I don't have the inclination to find out.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of wonderful thing now about your hobbies and stuff like that, is that even if something that you've grown up loving ends up going to crap, like we've seen in the past year, is there's so much variety and selection now that you can just walk away. There's you can find something else that will greatly interest you.
Yeah.
Like even in obscure, more niche hobbies like the tabletop stuff and the miniatures. Oh, you don't like what Warhammer's doing? Okay, well, there's a ton of people making miniatures and tabletop wargaming. I'm sure there's a universe that you can dive into, like BattleTech or something like that. I've seen people go.
I'm sure there is, but at the same time, there's the concern that everything's become so politically correct and so censored and so just completely castrated that one of these days you won't have those alternatives to find. You know what I mean?
True.
With this cancellation culture.
Yeah. I mean,
you try to like get rid of everything that sort of pushes the envelope. Like what would be considered pushing the envelope now would be totally cookie cutter in the 80s, right?
Yeah, agreed.
But now it's like they're trying to cancel. One of these days they'll be canceling like R.L. Stine or something like that.
Yeah,
something totally innocuous.
Yeah, then it gets to the point where like the only thing you can really do is speak with your wallet.
Yeah,
I mean, at that point,
I'm becoming more and more like that. I'm canceling so many things every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gillette is no longer a welcome product in this household.
Yeah.
My wife sometimes slips and she buys it, and I get angry. But yeah, there's a number of them. What was the other one? Ben and Jerry's was the last one.
Oh yeah, Ben and Jerry's has been like that. They're terrible.
I think one of my family members ordered one the other day, and I couldn't help but just go steal it. I didn't buy it myself, but I did eat from him. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to eat their milk and cookies and I stopped a while back because I was like, gosh, I don't need your political stuff. You're an ice cream. Sell me ice cream.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's McGee. Hey, McGee. Speaking of movie buffs, we're getting all the movie buffs in here. She knows about movies. Vossen says, if Chris could turn invisible, he'd have the red. Oh, come on. We're not even talking about anything that has to do with that red dress stuff. Come on now. Let's not go there.
And by the way, this latest thing with Schwarzenegger, what did you think of that? Speaking of movies.
Oh, that Screw Your Freedom?
Yeah, Screw Your Freedom.
That's so stupid.
I guess it's like okay to like shit on Schwarzenegger a little bit now. I've often been not often like a couple of times I was literally right next to him, standing right next to him, right? And he claims to be 6'3" or something like that. I promise you, he's barely 5'8".
Oh, really?
It's crazy. He's considerably shorter than I am, and I'm 6'1".
Huh. Yeah, I seen somebody saying something about his dad. Apparently, his father was.
His dad was a Nazi, yeah, but that's like
really.
But that's well known. But the thing is, like this lying about your height is such a ridiculous thing, man.
Yeah, like that's so weird.
It's often done in Hollywood, but the way that he does, I've seen him on interviews, looking the interviewer in the eye, saying he's whatever height, and the interviewer knows he's bullshitting out of his,
Yeah.
Simply that
he's trying to maintain this illusion or something.
Yeah, Stallone is taller than him. But Stallone's not going around like lying about his height.
Yeah. It's like how wrestlers and stuff do, where they're like, he's 7 foot something, and he's actually like 6.
So if he lies about something like that, just imagine what else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's a showman. It's all about like appearances and stuff. So he'll say whatever he thinks people want to hear or things like that.
Yeah. Well, but whatever. I mean, he's done very well for himself. He's an icon, or at least he used to be, and he's sort of like a symbol of the American dream. And, the immigrant showing up and having everything stacked against him and managing to somehow triumph.
Yeah, coming from nothing and achieving greatness.
Yeah, exactly, and having everything against him in terms of like. He had like a deformed body shape for like the ideal of what constituted like the prototypical male in Hollywood, with that absurd accent that he to this day hasn't been able to shake off.
Yeah,
and he still managed to become a star, So there's that.
Let's see here. What's Boston saying? Wasn't it the whole point to bring it up every time you have a new guest? No, that isn't the point. I'm not explaining it anymore. And Rob isn't a new guest. He's been around before. We don't need to explain to him this red dress stuff. It's okay. Let's see. Did I catch everybody else? Feed says, wasn't Schwarzenegger the one who closed down all asylums in California? I don't know. I don't keep up really anymore with politics. I used to when I was younger, but I honestly don't anymore. I'm bad for that. I don't keep up with any of that stuff.
But there's one thing that annoys me is like fake Republicans or fake conservatives, and he's clearly a Democrat plant that claims.
Does he claim to be a conservative?
Yeah, he claims to be a Republican. He ran for Republican.
No, he's not conservative at all. He's not doing that. From the stuff I've seen him say, no, he's full of shit. Let me see. I gotta scroll up here because
there's even like this famous thing of him saying, and when I came to this country and heard Richard Nixon talk, I said, I am who is this man? He's what party is he from? And then I am a Republican.
No, he is not. Okay. Marinus is telling me to refresh the campaign. Okay, let me see here. Hey, we got a
Wow!
Yeah. Sugar Rush. Let's see. Yep. Meredith got backer 104 here.
All right, cool, man.
104. It only says 87. Dang on, so you gave him a bunch of ghost backers.
But it says 104 and it's 87. Not weird, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the ghost backers.
But slowly
Yeah.
but surely we're getting there. When I get to 3K, I'm gonna, splurge out like on a bottle of champagne. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, Marinus says he loves the Monster MD team and Matt Krotz, so he's on board.
Although
Although he likes more adult mature stories.
Yeah, this one's going to skew a little older than the first Tales, and I think it's easily enjoyable by all ages.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was very firmly catered to younger audiences. This is in the all ages bracket.
Okay. Johnny Cage says, "Yay! Now give us the passing after." All right. I don't have a choice now. There, since we got a Sugar Rush there, a little dancing avatar up there.
Oh, nice. Does it have a beard? Is that a beard that I see?
Yes, it has a beard. That's the.
What is it? Pomosexual?
That is Pale Rider's drawing, apparently, supposedly of me, in a superhero outfit.
A nice rack.
Yeah, apparently I dyed my hair blonde and grew some nice tits.
Nice one.
Yeah, I put it up, Pale Rider. Calm down. That's Dark's. Meredith says, "Good to know. Let's get this 100 backers at least." That's right.
Yeah, thank you,
share it around everybody. Let's get him to 3,000. That'd be great. Let's give him that stretch goal.
You know what? In my first campaign, what really helped me was going on these. Well, streams like this, I did, and I would get a few backers, which was good. It's always great. But the ones that really got me a big boost was the really big channels, like Raging Golden Eagle. I remember I got like 15 backers or something from his stream, which I did at like 5 a.m. So my enthusiasm level was like below freezing point. But still, I managed to rack that many backers from that appearance.
Yeah.
So I imagine if I was like somewhat alert and actually enthusiastic about selling the book, it might have been even more,
Yeah, I know. He has that big audience with all those subscribers and such. And I think this sort of art style and everything would probably be a little appealing to him. So that don't surprise me that you were able to get quite a few fellas to hop in on this.
Yeah, and then the other guy was Matt Krotz, Matt Krotz, not Matt Krotz, Matt, the guy from Downcast. What's his name again? Matt.
Oh,
I can't believe I'm blanking out on his name.
Yeah. Sweetcast,
yeah, super cool dude. I forget his real name.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand. That's terrible.
But anyway, so Sweetcast, and that was great as well. Got a number of backers from that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's those were the big ones, I think, if I recall correctly. John Malin did like
Clint Stoker.
Clint Stoker, yeah. John Malin did like a brief mention of the book, like towards the end of his stream. I think I got like maybe 1 or 2 backers from that. So, it's good. It's good that there's a community that helps each other out.
Yeah. We have a humble channel here, but we do get backers for people.
It's good, and it's like it's a good crowd that comes here. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of the people here is probably already backed you though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
If I'm honest, like Soul and everybody.
Yeah.
They were probably looking forward to this one.
Yeah. I think he backed the first one, so I'm glad that it's a return customer. I've been very pleasantly surprised with the amount of return backers. I don't like saying customers, but it sounds icky for some reason. But yeah, backers. Like people enjoyed the first one.
Hmm. Let's see.
And
Yeah.
I'm so confident that this second one's going to be so much more of a hit because we really experiment with a lot of different elements, particularly in one of the stories. So it's inventive, it pushes the envelope.
Yeah, always trying something new.
And it's good. Yeah, it's good. In indie comics, it's where you should do that the most, because you're not constrained by publishing rule sets.
Yeah, you don't have like editorial or
Yeah, you
some
don't have
corporate stuff.
editorial breathing down your neck saying you can't do this, you can't do that. Apparently, Marvel and DC don't either these days. That's why
That's why they're going to shit.
I've gone to shit, but yeah. But when you're working in the indie space, you feel much more. It's good that you don't have bosses. It's just
Mhm.
it's my road show, and I get to do it exactly the way I wanted to. I don't
Yeah,
even have editors. I don't hire editors.
you get to have that create. You get to fully see your creative vision
Yeah, Felicia,
come
I,
to
don't- I,
life.
I don't I don't understand the need for it. If you're a writer and you need editors, and I mean I can see that some writers would find it useful. I could find maybe proofreading maybe useful, because there's always like these typos that escape you, no matter how. Because you're so into like the thing that you wrote that you don't notice it.
Hmm.
And sometimes you spread around the book for people to read, and they'll catch something. But if you get a proofreader, usually they're better about doing that. But to have an editor step in and say, well, you should do this or that, and chip in from a narrative perspective, it feels like an intrusion, if you know what I mean. Maybe I'm too protective of my own vision in that sense, but I have difficulty putting myself in the shoes of a writer that allows that kind of dynamic. You know,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You're wanting to be, ensure that your vision sees through. That makes sense. Let's see. What's Power saying? Wait, is this another person that doesn't know the Red Dress story? Sure, Chris, you must. No, I don't need to explain it to Rob. We don't need to talk about it. Let it go.
is it connected with this dancing avatar?
Yeah, in a way, yes. Power
Yeah.
on there to hear it. All right, fine.
Give me
Basically,
more.
some time ago when I worked at Walmart, this was when I was a younger man. Um, they let you dress up for Halloween, and so I ended up because there was a lot of female ladies working at the store on overnights, and so they all wanted me to dress up like a woman.
Is this the
And
days prior to cultural appropriation and that nonsense?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
this was what was it? Like 11, 12 years ago or
Oh
something
wow!
like that.
Oh, the world was normal then. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so she's like, okay, so I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So like my boss ended up getting me this red dress and all this stuff. And I ended up wearing like the dress. I ended up wearing like I might have even been wearing like some sort of hose and special like the shoes and they done up my hair because I had not as long as this, but about a little bit shorter, but still decently long hair. They did up my hair, everything, all that stuff. So we were working, and so the truck came in. We took the skids out onto the floor, and we were down stacking them because I worked grocery, and this was when, of course, Walmart was still open all night. So I'm working in this dress, and so at one point in time, I was bent over apparently, and this guy comes around and basically just checking out my ass. And then I got up and turned, and you could see my. Of course, I had my beard, and turned, and like apparently he made this like face like that, and then hurried up and went down one of the aisles.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, that's what my
Yeah. Could you
friend
sue
Karen.
him? You could have sued him for sexual harassment or something.
Yeah, yeah. I worked. I did not feel comfortable and safe. That's what Carolyn was telling me that he did. And then later on, I went into the water aisle because I was working the water aisle and I worked a couple others, the soda aisle and stuff, and was throwing freight up, and a couple Mexican fellows from the chicken plant came in,
Hmm.
and they walked up, and as soon as they seen me, both of them got these big toothy grins, and they just was staring at me, and they stood in the aisle for a little bit, just staring
But
away, and then they slowly walked down the aisle, and I'm like, okay. So
do you think they enjoyed what they saw or what?
I'm not sure because they must have liked it because they came back again and then again, and I eventually moved to the next aisle, and they came down that aisle,
That's hilarious.
and this went on for quite some time, and then finally they left. I was like, oh my god, I was a little worried about they were gonna like jump me in the parking lot or something.
That's hilarious.
Like, damn.
You ever tried that red dress? You stashed it and it's been collecting dust ever since, or
I that,
I'll
that
sit
was
out your stream. You should do like a special stream where you put it back on. Huh? What do you think of that?
I
No?
don't own that dress. Uh,
But since
one
it's become such a big thing, if you want to like rack up the view count,
well, if
I'd be all over that.
I told him if I reached 1,000 subscribers, I would go down to New Orleans because apparently there's a red dress run in New Orleans,
Hmm.
and I would do that. I would get in a red dress. I'd put on, I don't know, heels or something, and I'd run that run for him.
Good stuff. I love it.
And I made the mistake of telling that on Red Gaze's channel, and I have never lived it down. They will not let me live it down.
I mean, now you got to do it, man.
Now
It's
there's
funny that there's a red dress run. Wow.
yeah, I was not expecting it, but Pale Rider made sure I knew about it.
That's one of those things that's liable to get canceled or co-opted by one of those activists,
Yeah.
So yeah, enjoy while it lasts. But what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, Walmart used to be open all night.
Yeah. Yeah. It used to be open all night.
That's
And yeah, because a lot of crazy shit went down at night. I had people like I had a couple have sex in the produce department.
oh wow.
They just like the guy bent her over onto like the what was it, watermelons or something. He just went at it.
No way, man.
Yeah, there was oh, what else happened?
So what happened? You called the cops and they got
He finished quickly and then he left.
yeah, you have to in that scenario, right?
Yeah. Like he shot a shot, I guess, and ran. And I had a couple drunk women show up, take my jacket because I had like a little jacket with a dragon on the back. It was black, and I had taken it off and set it, and they came in and they took it because I was working. I look over and here comes these kind of drunk couple women, and one takes it, puts it on, and starts walking off. And I'm like, hey.
But where did you have the jacket? Was it like on you or no?
It was like I had taken it off and hung it up beside me for a second because it was getting hot. And she just comes over, takes it, and just starts like, "Hey, that's mine." Like, what are you doing? And I'm laughing. I'm like, "What are you doing? That's my jacket." And she's like, "Oh, it's a great jacket. Yeah, it's really awesome." It starts to walk. I'm like, "It's my jacket." And my friend who was working with me now comes up and be like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" We're both laughing. She eventually gives it back. And she's like, "Yeah, that's a really awesome jacket." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I found it, yeah.
And
Reminder.
they do a lap and they come back through and then they start offering to they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? You doing anything? Come on, go with us to the party." They wanted me and my friend to go with them. And I'm like, "I'm working."
Oh man.
I'm like, if I wasn't working, sure. You seem like you I don't know, maybe, but I'm working right now. My one friend, he would always come in drunk, and he worked there. he would always come in drunk, and he would have he'd come in, get in the little walker, the little stroller carts, and he'd be drunk off his ass, and he'd be driving around, running it into, accidentally running into me. And our boss loved it when he was drunk because she'd come in and she'd take her hand and go like that real fast in front of his face. He'd be like, oh, he'd fall over every time. He'd be like, damn it, stop. And he'd fall over.
And the boss loved him. He got shit faced. That's funny.
Oh yeah, because she'd be like, John, what are you doing? Do you? And she'd always make sure, John, do you have somebody driving you? He'd be like, yeah. And his friend would always be there, making sure he was all right.
And so, and why did they discontinue the all night policy?
I think it was because of theft. We had a lot of theft, a lot of turnover and stuff, and the sales weren't super high, so why keep it going? I think it was a cost saving thing.
Was this a nationwide policy that they instituted, or just?
I think it was nationwide. I think all Walmarts, because even Martin's that I work at's like that now, where there is no overnight shopping. They closed it.
Like the best thing on the planet is to have a supermarket that's open all night, especially for night owls like myself, man.
Oh yeah.
As I used to be, now that I'm like a family man, I've cleaned up my act a little bit. But in my 20s, it was like I just lived at night, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It was not common for me to decide to get the munchies at 5 a.m. or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like I'm a night owl, of course. I work overnights, but we used to always have regulars that would come in every night, buy a bunch of stuff. So there was sales. It's just, there was a lot of theft too, and they wouldn't stop it. They could steal it. It's like all they had to do was break line of sight for a second, take it, throw it in their pocket, and walk back out. As long as you couldn't visually see it, there was always that chance that you could be wrong and the company could get sued. So it was like, nope, we're not gonna mess with it. A lot of times. They just walk away.
Like in the States, there's 7-Elevens and stuff like that. There's I used to live in LA for quite a long while actually. And I remember the 7-Eleven in places like downtown LA felt like really edgy. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I thought that was fun.
Yeah. Now, if you were trying to steal some major shit, then they'd go after you. Like we had a guy trying to steal a bunch of TVs and stuff. He how did he do it? He came in with like a cart, started loading, was trying to basically wait for an opening. Then he ran over to electronics, took a bunch of TVs, threw them in the cart real fast, and tried to book it to the back, where the back emergency exit, because he had a truck waiting for him out there, and throw it in. And I think they managed to stop him.
Yeah, but that can get you hard time, right?
Mm. Yeah, if it's above a certain amount.
Okay. Yeah, for a watermelon. I mean, in Morocco, they'll chop your hand off.
Oh yeah, nice. They don't fuck around.
No, that's why nobody steals, man.
Yeah, we had what was it? My brother though, he works at Walmart again. He went back to Walmart, and he's a manager up there, and he works at a real big one. Mm-hmm. Apparently, it's pretty bad. He said they get like multiple times per month someone ODing in the bathroom.
No way.
Yeah, and he said there's always like some sort of fight breaking out or something going on. And, he's told me some stories, and he hasn't been there long, and he's already told me some crazy stories of like stuff going on, people trying to steal, and like associates basically like holding them down and stuff. And he's just like, whoa, calm down, okay.
I wonder what it is like if you're high off your rocker. What would be the attractor in Walmart? It's
yeah, I don't know why you would go to Walmart, but for some reason, apparently they do. Oh, but like I've had here at Martin's, it's a grocery store, And I've had like I work in the frozen department, and I've went like one day I was sitting there stocking shelves. And I was like, "What's that?" And I thought it was like just a piece of metal or something, and it ended up being like somebody's crack pipe that I guess they dropped it into the fucking frozen. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh crap, I don't, and I'd already touched it. I'm like, oh crap, my fingerprints are on it. Freaking out. I was like, Billy, what do I do with this?
You live that kind of stuff is like big city thing. No? Do you live like in a big city
No.
no?
Small, no, but yeah. But I live in a small area.
Wow.
But and then another time, a woman was ringing herself up, and we close around like 11 p.m. and they were ringing up. They were going through self checkout. The woman she was ringing herself up, and she dropped her purse, and her like crack pipe busted all over it. She wasn't a bad little woman either, surprisingly. She must have just started, I guess. Like just crack pipe everywhere, just glass, and she just freezes. And she's like, you can tell like it's going through her head. She's like, what do I do? And she just hurries up, reaches down, grabs her purse, throws a few of the shit in, and just books it, just takes off.
I'm looking at the comments. It's really fun. Soul says that this turned from a comic show into an almost Red Gaze type of stream.
Oh yeah, it went south, didn't it?
I wonder what it is about Red Gaze that gets people to like just unleash their inner demons on him. You know?
Yeah.
It
brings it out in people.
He has that really stoic, like shrink type of voice. You know what I mean? It's almost like you expect him to say, "So tell me how that makes you feel."
Well, Red's a degenerate, so.
Yeah, but he has I keep
brings it out in people.
He has a fantastic radio voice.
He does have a great voice for it. We have Skip Edwards with us. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello. I was noticing that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool guy.
Is that a mystification? Well, I don't have Sim here to keep me on par with what we're doing here, you know. Dang Sim. Blame Sim.
Sim's the one that keeps you back on track. He keeps you on rails.
Yeah, Sim's my crutch.
Okay.
Yeah, without Sim, this show goes to shit. I have a hard time functioning without him. Oh man. But it's I am looking forward to this book though, bringing it back to Tales from the Classroom. I am gonna back.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I already told you don't need to back it.
Now, wait a minute. Now hold on. You can get book 1, right, as an add-on?
You can get book 1 digitally.
Oh, it's only digital?
Yeah, there's a lot of people asking me to like to get the physical copy, but the issue is it's sitting here in boxes, a bunch of copies in Portugal. But the thing is, with the shipping costs, most of the people in the United States, they're going to have to pay a very steep amount to get it. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's like it's almost $30 of just shipping.
Now, would it help if you took, for instance, like a bunch, like say everyone who would be buying for the US, take it and box all those copies up, send it to one person, and then that person fulfill it for you?
That's possible. That's a good idea. You know, I've been speaking to Critical Blast. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
But he's just setting up his own fulfillment service.
Yeah, I thought about doing that myself.
Yeah, at the moment, I've been thinking about going. It's between him and Mixim, who are the printing company, the guys that are printing the book. They also have their own fulfillment service, and they're the ones I used for the first campaign. And they did a good job. They got everyone's books arrived in good shape. So they did a decent job. It's about seeing what's more economically viable, but it's between those two options at the moment for me.
Yeah.
I like Critical Blast a lot. I've been on his stream. He seems like a nice guy,
Hmm.
and it's good because I have the advantage of me going with him is that I can just hit him up on Twitter, and it's a much more personalized approach. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not dealing with just some like corporate thing.
No, and the other thing that's not so good is that with with the first fulfillment company, the Mixums, they wanted me to deliver a closed off list of who to send the books to, and I
Mm.
just keep it open. I couldn't keep the campaign open uh, on what do you call it when like the campaign closes and then you reopen it stays open for
In demand.
in demand, exactly. I couldn't keep it open in demand and just accept additional orders.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, I had to like close it off. So with Critical, it's different. I can just keep it open. I can overprint and keep the campaign open for like a year if I want it.
Hmm. Yeah, because a lot of people they get like half their funding through in demand.
They do,
It
yeah.
seems like,
Like,
yeah.
look at Monster MD. It was like in demand for what? For like almost 2 years.
Hmm.
And it did amazing numbers, but it also helped that he was in demand for as long as he was.
Yeah.
And and the good thing about in demand is that like people start receiving their books if there's a positive feedback, and then it sort of it snowballs and other people want to be in on it. And instead of like going, all right, what's this campaign all about, and they see that it's closed and they can no longer get it, that if it's open, they're more liable to back, and
Hmm.
it's a positive feedback loop.
Yeah, I really hope you can find a way to make it work to where you can get the first issue as like an add-on or something, at least for the second Tales from the Classroom, so that way people can catch up and have that physical
I will. I
copy.
think I will do that, even if I have to reprint it. I think I'll do that. The long term goal actually is for me to sort of disown the first book because I have a new art team, and eventually further down the line, I'd like to do a remastered version of the first book with this new art.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. You could come back to it in like a campaign, maybe do like a collected edition or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That
And
would be cool.
yeah, we'll be doing all that, but like everything I do is going to be with the idea that I don't want to devalue the previous campaigns.
Right.
And imagine if this becomes a big, if this explodes and becomes like a big property at some stage, and
Hmm.
then that first book, which will feature totally different art, and is such a limited run, would go up in value immensely.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, you could say I'm a bit delusional to even ponder that. But
Hey, it's a possibility.
if it's a possibility, if it were to happen, then those backers would be very happy indeed.
Like all these big blown up stuff started out small,
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. Except for TMNT, that just like exploded right off the.
That just boom.
That just went. Yeah.
Hey, Mo Big's here. He says, "Don't worry, Chris. The show's safe." Oh, I'm glad you're here, Mo. Pam Ryder wants me to show the new merch. No, that will not get us back on track. That'll get us back on the red dress, which is exactly what you want, Pam Ryder. No. And Mo Big's talking about red dress. No, we're not talking about that. uh, I had to point that out. Sim is not the guy who keeps things in order around here. He can barely wake up on time. That's true. Yeah, it's a lot of times it's you soul. Let's see. Wait, what's Substack? They're talking about Substack in the chat. What is that? What's a Substack? Let's see. Did you see it?
Substack. I actually just joined up for Substack. I have no clue what it is, but apparently it's a company that's offering comic book creators such a good deal that they're all like migrating to it.
Yeah, it
All these
says
like big
join. Donny
mainstream
Cates.
writers.
Yeah, it says you're joining.
Yeah, Donny Cates, and yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've
It's
never heard
also
of it.
weird because it's also like listen, I signed up and I don't know what the hell I signed up for, but it's got like it's like a platform where you share your books or dude, I don't know what it is. I still have to like look into it. But EVS was all about it recently. That's how I learned of it. I was listening to one of his streams and he
Oh
was
yeah.
commenting on the guy that wrote this book that's like a major seller, which is called "Something Is Killing the Children."
Oh yeah, I seen that at the con the other day I went to, and I've been seeing it around, people talking about it, or it has some buzz.
Yeah, it's got a lot of buzz. It's like a creator-owned project. That I don't know if you did it through this Substack thing or not, but no, I actually think you did it through Image. And
Hmm.
anyway, like the big two or the big three were all over him trying to like get him to sign like an exclusivity deal and a very spicy exclusivity deal. But like the Substack company came in with a way better deal,
Mm.
and he's now publishing things through them, I think.
Interesting. And Boston says Substack is a Patreon for blogs. Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. I do not know. Let me see here real quick. Bookmarks. Art of Sim. Yeah. So they're talking in the chat about the merch.
The
So I
merch,
guess
the merch of my campaign.
no. Well, they were talking about the morning roast merch we got on Sim's Redbubble. But wait, do you have merch?
No, I don't. Not for this one. I wanted to keep it quite simple with this campaign.
As I said, I didn't see it.
No, for the main event, which will be Tales from the Classroom 2. This is more like Tales from the Classroom 1.5, as somebody said in a previous stream that I did.
Mm-hmm.
That will include some merch, posters, stuff like that.
I also don't see your stretch goals. You mentioned a stretch goal.
I
Is
did.
it in the updates?
No, I shared it with people in. Yeah, I think it's in the updates actually. Do I mention it there?
If we clear 5K.
Oh yeah, right,
Okay, right there.
right
All
there.
right. Okay.
That's a preview of Tales from the Classroom 2.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, great colors. I love Tanya Wicker's colors. You know, she adds so much to. Monica's line work is fantastic, but Tanya, the colors she adds such a texture and dimensionality to the pencils that. Yeah, and Monica agrees. She says like, "Oh, I can't believe like I almost cry every time I see Tanya's colors on my pencils."
Yeah, like good colors can really just transform the whole thing.
Totally.
Yeah, it looks really good.
But the thing that I love about Monica and the reason I was desperate to adopt her as the main, her and Tanya as my main sort of collaborators on Tales was like in Monica's case how dynamic her art is. You know, there's nobody. The way she frames action in particular is so fantastic. It feels like a super slick like animation, some kind of animation, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like still frames from like the most like top tier animation, like anime or whatever that you could think of.
Yeah,
Which,
it does.
I'm trying to go for that. I'm trying to go for that cartoon aesthetic. You know, this.
Yeah, it does look like it could be an animated movie or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's the idea.
It does look really good, and it's quite colorful and everything. Yeah, it would work out really good. Let me see. Yeah, this. Let me show you real quick. Let me show everybody real quick the look at that. This is what they're talking about here in the chat. The morning roast merch
Wow.
that they forced upon me. They got this is something that Pale Rider and Sim did.
Who did the artwork? Sim did?
What was it? How was it? Was it you, Pale Rider, that came up with that? Like he came up. I know he came up with the idea, but did Sim draw it? I think Sim drew it. Or did no? Pale Rider, you drew it, didn't you? I'm pretty sure Pale Rider drew it, and then Sim did the colors or something.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Well, in any case, it looks great.
Yeah, and it's of course they've got me in a red dress, and it's based on the heavy. It's based on that heavy metal cover.
Yeah, that famous Frazetta cover. It's the Frazetta cover, right? It's Frank Frazetta.
I'm not sure who did it. And then of course they slapped it on everything.
Oh, that's great, man. But how do you do this? You go to this thing called Redbubble.
Yeah, it's
and
yeah, it's redbubble.com, and it's they do all the work basically. Like they make the product and they send it out to people, and then you get like a little bit of it, the money.
No way.
Yeah, it's a real
So,
it's not a big amount.
but it's okay because you're not really expending any money.
Yeah.
Right? You're not. So you just put in the art assets, and they manage to. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because I think Sim told me it's like we've gotten like $20 or something from the
Really?
yeah, or something like that.
How much? How many sales did you do?
I don't know. I don't know how many sales we've done, but we've got like $20. Yeah, so that'll buy Sim a drink, I guess.
Right.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Pale Rider drew it. Sim did color. That's what I thought. I thought that. I've even known origin stories. Well, that's what I figured. But then I remember the last time I said it, you guys said I was wrong, and then so it made me confused. And then this piece here, the Morning Roast logo here, that was done by Miss Emma McLernan. She's done a book called Reality Hackers, and she did a great job. I really like it.
Love it. Yeah.
And we slapped that on a bunch of stuff. So I thought I would show it off to anyone who hasn't seen it in the chat and stuff. And let's see. But yeah, I'm surprised Sim didn't show up. It's been an hour and a half.
It's okay. I'm actually, but I'm hearing like a lot of ruckus from downstairs with the fam.
All right.
I think I might have to
All right.
depart.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up then. I think they're getting ready to do the Marinus, and then we're getting ready to do their show anyway, so everybody can just transition over in the chat if they
What
want.
is the show? It's like a film podcast show. It's like
it's Marinus and Bestoy Dave and Mr. Feed, and they talk about, they usually have a topic. They usually have like a topic about something involving movies, and they'll sit and talk. But
okay, cool. I'll try to join in.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, everybody do go check out Tales from the Classroom, and thanks for joining us.
Please do.
Thank you, Mr. Rob.
Thank you for having me on once again, Chris. Always a pleasure.
Oh, look who just showed up right at the end there, Merry Boys.
Oh man, we were talking up your comic like
yeah. We was talking earlier, saying about how great your book is.
On stream and off stream.
But thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you all again on the next one. Laters.
All right, thank you guys.